Hello, welcome back for the Transformation Journey Roadmap. Stage 5, steward your sensitivity. Now we're going to look at what I call Dreamland Stewardship. And this is what lesson 1 is, Dreamland Stewardship. So again, those inner edges, those boundaries between what you believe about who you are and the unknown parts of yourself. Another way of saying it is what's the other dreaming going underneath your consensus reality identity, right? Beautiful edge work of exploring, working those edges in just the right way. So the Transformation Journey Roadmap, this 6-stage journey of guiding you to navigate the edges of change. And we are honoring the visionary that you are, that you have that unusual foresight and imagination. And again, my belief is you have been magnetically attracted to this course, to working with me, because you want to cultivate a way to really live your visionary nature fully in the world for the benefit of yourself, for your beloveds, for our world. Your unusual foresight and imagination. Thank you. So here in stage 5, steward your sensitivity. You are exploring how to embrace your self-responsibility and respect your sensitivity. So this is stage 5B, which I call 5B because this is a different stewardship, Dreamland Stewardship. Lesson 1, here's the learning outcomes. To understand what I mean by Dreamland Stewardship, to recognize basic steps in Dreamland Stewardship, to follow your longing to be a visionary change agent and whatever that means for you, to connect with your inner visionary, and to complete Dreamland Stewardship practice number 1. So stage 5B, Dreamland Stewardship, this is your stage when you want to follow your longing to be a visionary change agent. You can feel that deep pull. You want to learn how to safely explore realities beyond consensus reality. You've already been opening to them. Anybody who's a sensitive, intuitive, empathetic, psychic person, you've already been opening to the other realities beyond consensus reality. You just probably haven't learned skillful ways to do that, because that's the other thing this stage is for. When you're willing to do effective multi-world travelers practices, you'll understand what that means by the end of this lesson. But to be able to open to other realities in a healthy, grounded way that takes care of you. All right. So Brené Brown reminds us, true belonging doesn't require us to change who we are. It requires us to be who we are. And I offer you this quote because for many of us who are sensitive, intuitive ones, in the way we've been enculturated or raised by our families or culture of origin, again, no one is to blame, we have either been overwhelmed by our sensitivity and empathetic nature, and or we've learned to hide it and deny it. So it's not about having to change ourselves. It's about the invitation to be who you are. So here's again a way I look at it, at sensitivity, a keen awareness of the energies of self, others, and the larger field. Self being that guest house, all the beings in there. The others, whether it be humans or animals or nature beings, or the larger field. The felt sense, the atmosphere of a situation, a sense of the presence of the ancestor spirits, or other presences or energies that do not have bodies. The larger field, a sensitivity, keen awareness of the energies of self, others, and the larger field. In a definition of stewardship, the careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care. So again, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is both consensus reality stewardship and dreamland stewardship, which we'll discuss in this module. So a reminder, consensus reality stewardship, you're able to hold and resource your wounded, fragmented ones with your wholeness allies, however those wholeness allies show up, so that you have the psychic space in which to explore how to be with other realities in healthy ways. That's dreamland stewardship. I just want to invite you to consider that many times the sensitivity we carry that is so strong and beautiful gets caught up in our wounded, fragmented ones. So for example, in last module, when we talked about the people pleaser or the rescuer, fragmented one, What can happen for any of us who are sensitive, we feel someone else's pain, and it's so painful to feel their unacknowledged pain that they don't even know about, that then we get caught up in our fragmented self trying to go rescue them and take care of them so they'll stop hurting and we'll stop feeling all their pain. It's not really effective because you really can't take care of them. You can take care of yourself and you can support them appropriately to heal and take care of themselves. But it's not really for you to get shattered and pulled out of yourself because you're so many places feeling everyone else's emotions and energies. So dreamland stewardship can really happen once you've got that consensus reality stewardship going. Again, it's a lifelong journey, but as you have your wounded, fragmented ones tucked into your heart, your wholeness energy is stronger, your allies are stronger, then it's actually safe to kind of explore, well, what else am I tracking? Let's go see what else I'm tracking with other realities, okay? So remember from process work, the 3 levels of awareness. Again, this is just one map of consciousness. There are many. I really like this one. Hopefully you found it to be really effective in your own embodied practices. So 3 levels of awareness, the top one being consensus reality, our everyday reality that we live in, just as sacred as the other realities, and sometimes a place of polarization and black and whiteness. It's just what happens. Underneath dreamland, the land of dreams, deep feelings, mythic and archetypal realms. This is a place where you can explore different roles as you've already been doing with your process work practices when you go into the dream doors and you explore another role and you be in it and you move it. You are exploring your shape shifting in the dreamland. And then essence underneath it all, the non dual realm from which everything arises, the source, the oneness, the unity, the essence level, all 3 levels of awareness. And then we've explored dream doors. These are places in your consensus reality consciousness where the doors open to dreamland. Again, I love that image of Alice and through the looking grass, in she goes to a different reality. So cultivate the ability to open dream doors and allow the wisdom of dreamland to help you in your everyday life. And you've been doing practices with this. You just finished one with the last module when you explored process work experience to do a little exploring of your inner denier, just a little taste. So you're open a bit to dreamland, check some things out, and then bring some awareness back to consensus reality. So, dreamland stewardship, your sensitivity to and awareness of other realities, I sometimes call those multi-worlds, is entrusted to your care. You are the one who perceives the dream doors and has the capacity to explore the multi-worlds. Now, here's ways to steward your dreamland self. First of all, acknowledge and heal survival strategies of disassociation to stay grounded as you explore the multi-worlds. This is consensus reality stewardship. And I want to remind you what I've been saying in this course. Sometimes when you are doing inner healing work or you're exploring your inner figures, you really need the support of an external ally, like a therapist, a healer, a counselor, group support. Because when you begin to open up to other realities, you may run right into, as you may be finding, some of your survival strategies and the wounded ones in you. So, again, please do not explore dreamland more overtly if there's still unmetabolized trauma. Make sure you get the help you need in your own timing and pacing, and then you can come back to it. And as I said previously, trust your heart. Do not push yourself over the edge. So ways to steward your dream and self. Once you really check, okay, I'm good to go, Sheila. It's not like none of us are perfect, but I'm sort of grounded enough, healed enough. Let's go forward. Okay. Then you want to recognize the unique ways that you are sensitive to the multi worlds. And here's just a few core examples. Your intuition, your inner sight. What I mean by that is, you know things, you see things, picking up on others' emotions or thoughts, tracking the vibes of an environment, lack of clear boundaries between you and others. Okay. Now, let's just take a moment here. You can put it in your journal or not, just check in. Does any of this sound familiar? What are your unique sensitivities to the multi-worlds? What do you notice when I went through some of those examples that you went, yeah, maybe for some of you it's all of them, or for some it might be, I really do have trouble with boundaries. I'm suddenly feeling everyone's things, feeling everyone's emotions, or I have a hard time saying no, because I feel pulled by what's happening. So let's just take a minute, just reflect on this, recognizing and loving yourself just as you are. What do you notice are your unique sensitivities to the multi-worlds, other realities, experiences beyond you? And this is not so much a big journaling practice, it's more just taking a moment to notice, as I've been giving you this material, what you are tracking. Again, track yourself. Okay, here's other ways to steward your dreamland self. Once you are grounded enough, good to go with your healing of the fragmented ones, sufficient, and you have an awareness of how you pick things up, then develop practices to explore the multi-worlds in healthy ways. And here are some really key ways. Stay grounded in your body. You've heard this from me before, and I'll keep saying it through the rest of this program. Have boundaries. Use a threshold coming and going. I want to just shout out to you. I've been doing this with you every journey, guided journey I've given you, whether it's a process work journey or a deep imagery journey, even a journal practice. I've invited you to stop at the threshold, move your body a bit, take a couple of breaths. And then when you finish the journey, I invite you to be quiet and gently open your eyes and come back. What I've been doing is guiding you in threshold work. It's boundaries. I'm pausing before I go in to another reality, inside reality, outside reality, and I'm pausing as I come back out. Okay. So boundaries. There's other ways to do boundaries, but that's a process. And you can use that anytime in your life. When you finish work before you head home, or in the COVID times and you're putting your computer away and going into the next room to have dinner with your family, pause and do a boundary. I'm complete with my workday. Thank you. I take a breath, I exhale. Now I move into the next experience. Okay. That simple. Finish a phone call with somebody that's important. Thank you. I'm complete with that call. I stop the call now. Okay. It's a really good thing to practice. The other thing you can do as a practice for healthy ways to explore the multi worlds is set a focused intention. And again, I have been asking you to do that. You've already been doing this in all the practices with me. Okay, now we're going to go on this journey. Now set an intention, or bring this fragmented one to you with the intention of healing. Set a focused intention, because basically what you're doing is helping yourself know, this is where I'm going, then I can come back. Okay. And travel with an ally. You'll know more about that as we finish this module. So just these are some core ways to steward your dreamland self. Hilke says, "A traveler I am and a navigator, and every day I discover a new region within my soul." I think that's potentially true for all of us. We're travelers, we're navigators, and every day, every moment could be a new discovery about your soul. So here's what I call my multi-world explorers traveler tips. I started to talk to you about them and do more. And I call them this because, true confessions, for the last 40 years, just about 4 decades, I have been exploring the multi-worlds in some form or another. Sometimes I started out in my early 20s not having a clue what was happening. But then I did all kinds of training and learning and inner work processes and therapy to help me understand about my intensely sensitive and empathetic nature. And how could I be open to the other worlds, the multi worlds, in a safe way? So these are tips from a seasoned explorer, dear ones. And there are probably many others you can get, but these are the ones I want to bring home to you. Stay grounded in your body. Okay. Stay in your body. You can still journey and open up to multi worlds. Stay in your body. Okay. Stay grounded in your body. BYOB. Bring your own boundaries. bring your own boundaries. Okay. It's like, phew. Yes, you're open and compassionate to the world. And don't forget, there's also you and the care of yourself. Okay. BYOB, bring your own boundaries. Carry a focused intention. I've just mentioned this about, okay, if I'm going to open up my sensitivity consciously, why am I doing it? Where am I going? I know how to get back. And then finally, travel with an ally. We'll discuss more of this in another lesson, but essentially to recognize that when you are opening to the multi-world's other realities, you don't have to go alone. There are many, many allies that can companion you, and there are many beings that can be present to help you as guides as you opened up to other realities. So travel with an ally. More on this to come. So remember your longing to be an empowered visionary who carries your sensitivity in authentic and healthy ways. I want to pause here and invite you to remember, in whatever way it happened, that you got called to do this course, this transformation journey roadmap. For some of you, you might have met the material already. For others, it might be, I'm just meeting it. But pause and remember what happened in you when you recognize there might be some support and guidance for you to be an empowered visionary. And maybe there was some longing there, maybe something that got stirred, like, wow, wow. So I invite you to just remember that longing to be an empowered visionary who carries your sensitivity in authentic and healthy ways. Yeah, that's why you're here. And the world will love to be more connected to you in a healthy way. So cultivate the relationship to your inner visionary who can compassionately guide you to steward how you effectively relate to the multi-worlds. So here's Dreamland Stewardship practice number 1. Do a guided imagery journey to your inner visionary for support to be a Dreamland steward. And that will show up in whatever way is right for you. So pause the video now, and as you've been doing, go and do the guided journey. Take the time you need to do the journey, reflect and journal, and then when you're done, come on back to the video and we'll finish. Go and do the journey to connect to your inner visionary. Okay, thanks so much for doing that journey to connect to your inner visionary. And a reminder, you can come back and do the journey whenever it feels right. Continue to cultivate the relationship to your inner visionary to support your Dreamland stewardship. You can certainly do this by going on the guided journey, deep imagery journey, but you can also just keep the feeling alive that you had in meeting your inner visionary. Or you might close your eyes and remember the landscape of the sunrise. You don't have to formally do a deep imagery journey. You can cultivate the connection to your inner visionary in many ways. So here's a reminder, ways to steward your dreamland self. Use practices to explore the multi-worlds in healthy ways. Stay grounded in your body. Have boundaries, for example, using a threshold coming and going. Set a focused intention and travel with an ally. We'll be continuing to explore these ways. So you've opened to the gifts of the other worlds. Thank you. You've completed your first Dreamland stewardship practice. Stage 5B, Lesson 1, here's what you've completed with your learning outcomes. Understood Dreamland stewardship, the beginnings of it, recognized the basic steps in Dreamland stewardship, explored how to honor your multi-world sensitivity, connected with your inner visionary by completing Dreamland stewardship practice number 1. In Lesson 2, you'll further explore Dreamland stewardship with an ally to help ground you. So when you're ready, bring your wonderful body over to Lesson 2, and all the rest of you too.